Hi, it's Mike Del Signori, and I'm in Wellfleet, Massachusetts. Want to talk about what happens if you're charged with OUI in Wellfleet while you're here visiting Cape Cod on the beach. Behind me is a beach house. It's a beach community, and probably a mile down the road is the Beachcomber. And a lot of people get arrested while on vacation in the Cape. So let me tell you what you should expect, because you might be from out of town. Keep in mind these cases are very winnable cases. I've handled OUI cases throughout Massachusetts for my entire career, and many of my clients have found not guilty of OUI. And the reason is we understand that an OUI arrest is very subjective. An officer's opinion that you had too much to drink is just that, it's an opinion. Every day we encounter people with opinions, and we discard them, we discredit, we believe the opinion to some extent, and don't credit the opinion entirely. And it's the same with a police officer. They're no different from any other person who has an opinion, and how they form their opinion in an OUI case is based on some field sobriety tests that are often inaccurate, they're unreliable. So you might be on the side of the road, and if you're in the Cape or Wellfleet, you might be pulled over on a road like this. You might be pulled over on a dark road where it's difficult to see at night, where the test itself is not going to be a reliable indicator of whether you had too much alcohol to drink. You might have problems with your knees, your legs, your back, that could affect the officer's opinion that because you didn't do perfectly on these tests, you're under the influence of alcohol. So you want to keep in mind that just because you were arrested, just because an officer says that he thought you had too much to drink, doesn't mean it's going to be proven in court. So the difference between what happens on the side of the road versus what happens in court is, in court, the government needs to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. You're presumed innocent. On the side of the road, if you are stopped by an officer, they smell alcohol, they're going to assume that you had too much to drink. It's not a presumption of innocence. In fact, it's almost the opposite. It's a presumption that you're guilty. If an officer smells alcohol, they want to get you off the road because they don't want a chance that they're going to let you go and they're going to be wrong. So they arrest more people than they can prove guilty all the time. And a lot of people are found not guilty on OUI cases. You might have also done a one-leg stand. This test is very difficult to do for anybody. Even someone who's had no alcohol is going to have trouble balancing on one leg. It's really a test of physical fitness, not whether you're under the influence of alcohol. And often you'll see officers score this test improperly. They'll say raise your foot 6 to 8 inches off the ground when it's only 6 inches. They'll say you missed heel to toe, you didn't have your arms by your side, when in fact the exercise doesn't require you to stand with your arms perfectly by your side. There's a leeway in these exercises. So officers score these tests. They kind of do their own thing on these tests. There's a manual. So there's a standard way these exercises are supposed to be given and administered. And in many cases, I'll see officers not following the proper procedures, and we'll have the tests excluded or knocked out of evidence, or we'll discredit them. So sometimes the test may not be done properly, and you can do a motion to say that because they didn't follow the protocol, it shouldn't be heard. But more commonly, it goes to the weight and to the credibility of the exercise, that if the exercise isn't administered correctly, it shouldn't come into evidence in court. Breathalyzer evidence. You may have taken a breathalyzer. Keep in mind, these machines, we've been having a lot of difficulty with these machines in Massachusetts. The Office of Alcohol Testing just recently disclosed another issue with the software. These tests aren't accurate, reliable tests. Put it this way, when you're down the beach here in Wellfleet, there's sharks that come in, no one's in the water. The breathalyzer is the same way. You don't want to take a small chance of being, there's errors with these machines, and they happen. So the jury knows that. You shouldn't just say that. The jury shouldn't take into account that just because these tests work to some extent, they don't work all the time. It's not good enough that the machine is accurate one day, inaccurate another day. You don't take that chance on the water. You shouldn't take that chance in court when someone's life is at stake, when their freedom's at stake, when their liberty's at stake. and when their job's at stake. So juries know that these machines, and you can teach them that these machines aren't accurate, doesn't account for the fact that people have different abilities to breathe, asthma, and other kinds of medical issues. So don't assume you can't win your case because there was a breathalyzer in the case. So if you have any questions about an OUI, about getting back on the road, feel free to contact me. I handle these cases all the time. Talk to people every day. Call, text 781-686-5924. It's never too early, too late to call. My name is Mike Del Signore. I'm here to help.